Have you ever wondered why fractions feel so hard for students? The truth is, most mistakes students make when working with fractions come from two things. One, students don't fully understand what the written form of a fraction means. And two, they need to coordinate two numbers to represent a single amount. But the good news is, once we help them understand fractions, things get a lot easier. In this video, let's break down why fractions feel confusing, and how you, whether you're a teacher, tutor, or parent, can help students truly understand fractions. So, why do fractions feel so hard for students? Well, before learning fractions, students only worked with whole numbers. Numbers represent amounts. If you say 2, you know you have two things. If you say 37, you know the number refers to 37 of whatever you're talking about. They learn how to write numbers, they learn how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide using the base 10 system. Everything stays in that familiar structure. But fractions are a completely different beast. Fractions require students to think about two numbers at the same time to figure out the amount being referred to. The denominator represents how many equal-sized pieces make up one whole, while the numerator represents how many of those pieces you have. If I say I have 5, students can picture 5 objects instantly. But if I say I have 6/5, they must imagine one whole cut into 5 equal pieces, and then imagine 6 of those pieces. That's quite a big cognitive shift. And when we add, subtract, multiply, or divide fractions, we are no longer using a base 10 system. While we use the same logic behind the operations, we use a different writing system to show the results. This is why when students make mistakes, it's usually because the written fraction doesn't match their understanding of numbers and operations. So, how do we help students? There's a few strategies we can use when introducing or reviewing fractions. Strategy 1, start with meaningful context. Whenever you introduce a new concept or address a struggle, start with context students can make sense of. Try this one. You have 9 chocolate bars to share equally among 4 friends. How much does each friend get? This is good context for fractions because 9 isn't divisible by 4. Students have to think about equal partitioning, the foundation of denominators. This context helps cement the concept of fractions in a way that they can more easily relate to and understand. Strategy number 2, connect to division. Fractions grow naturally from whole number division. You don't need to emphasize the division right away, but anchor their thinking in what they already know. Strategy number 3, make the math explicit. The tricky part is coordinating two quantities, the numerator and denominator, to show a single amount. Reinforce that the denominator is how many equal-sized pieces make up one whole, and the numerator is how many of those equal-sized pieces you have. Strategy number 4, use tools purposefully. Hands-on tools are powerful when used intentionally. We need to be explicit in showing that the denominator is showing the number of equal parts that make up one whole, and the numerator is showing how many of those parts we have. Strategy number 5, always ask students to show their thinking. Giving them fraction bars and asking them to explain their strategy would help you understand their thinking, and also help them to see whether their answer makes sense. Now, let's try the chocolate bar problem together in more detail. You have 9 chocolate bars to split between 4 friends. How many bars does each friend get? Students will quickly divide the first 8 bars, with each friend getting 2 whole bars. But then comes the real challenge. How do we divide the last bar equally among 4 people? Observe how they approach it, and guide them to partition the last chocolate bar into 4 equal-sized pieces, and distribute them to each friend. Now you can introduce the written fraction. 4 equal-sized pieces make up 1 bar, and each student got 9 of them. Make sure to emphasize the numerator and denominator when writing out the fraction. This moment, seeing the fraction emerge from the visual model, is where real understanding begins. So, if your students struggle with fractions, start with context, connect to what they know, and always make the math visible. Are there any other concepts you'd like to help your students understand? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to Science of Teaching Math for more effective teaching strategies, and we'll see you in the next one.